Before we get started on this, you do what the hell you want to do, and welcome to HO Powertrain. Gotta love soda, gotta love soda. Just like the title says, how can we save money with model railroading? Do we really need all this shit? Do we really need all of this? Do we really need all these locomotives? Do we really need DCC? Let's get on to it, folks. 320, 320, 330, 100 bucks, 120. Point is, these DCC locomotives are just very expensive, okay? If you're looking to save money, do you really need sound? Do you really need the awesome flashing lights? Hell, do you really want to run a consist? Well, for me, having this large layout, DCC is second nature for me. Why? Because DCC is so finicky, and for the sacrifice of having sound and consist, I am maxed out on DCC. So what I will do, I will go and buy me a DC locomotive on eBay. Probably this one ran me about 100 bucks. This one ran another 100 something bucks. It just works, okay? Getting onto the system, this is the cheaper system of DCC, which runs your consist and commands everything in your locomotive horn, switches, and everything else. This starter thing was probably around 250 bucks versus a normal DC controller that's down in here, which is an MRC. There you go, MRC that ran me about 65, 70 bucks. All it does is apply voltage and you get your trains running. See? There you have it. I have a train running. It's not DCC. It's DC, runs better. Not sacrificing spitting and sputtering that DCC likes to give. Get my train running through my scenery the way I like to do it at a cheaper cost. Again, for me, DCC is just too expensive and I am not purchasing any DCC stuff. Another reason for that is scenery. Just two of these jugs here, one cinder and one medium ballast, ran me right at 50 bucks for two of these. Prices are getting out of hand. It's just getting expensive. So if I keep buying expensive trains, we will have to slack on buying scenery. So it's a sacrifice, right? Let's not talk about what the price of static grass is. I don't even want to go into that. So therefore, just looking at trains on my shelf, not doing anything, and I definitely can't run all of them at one time. Why do I want to do that when I have to purchase other stuff? What about trees? Well, trees are not that expensive because I make some of my trees, and these trees I get from AliExpress. I get the O-scale trees from AliExpress, and the Chinese market has a great deal of some of these trees. They look really well in my back part of my layout, and it works great for what I want to do. So I'm kind of saving money right there. What about these trucks here? Can get pricey also. These excavators can get pricey. Now, if you're rich and you have money falling out the wazoo, this probably wouldn't mean too much to you. But the person that's trying to save money, this video is going to help you. Again, if you're not worried about the DCC thing and you just want your trains to run, DC is for you. And let me tell you, DC just works, okay? Let's not get started in these buildings. Welders make these buildings, and let me tell you, they don't give these things away, okay? All these buildings, all this, not cheap. Sorry, DCC, sorry. You're on the back burner for that. For me, DCC will come in handy when I'm running in my yards and I'm switching and doing that high-end, high-class, fancy stuff, right? I'd rather just run my trains, right? Slow down. See, I even have a headlight on that thing. Look at that. It just runs and keeps coming back in here. No problems running with DC. Lovely, lovely. You want a scene like this? Don't even ask me what a scene like this costs. All I can tell you is probably got about $300 just worth of resin right here, much less the bridges and everything else. Thank God for my 3D printer here. I can save some money doing it with my 3D printer, but again, this thing was not cheap also. So the moral of this video, invest in what you have to have, such as your track. Again, I'm running Atlas Code 83, and guess what? I don't have no trouble with this Atlas Code 83, nor the switches. I have no trouble. Why I purchased Atlas is because it works and it's cheaper and I'm saving money. The Pico stuff and everything else just costs too much out the wazoo when I'm just trying to get a train to run. And let me tell you, myth busted, my trains run great. A scene like this, if I would have to order every 1/87th scale vehicle would put in a junkyard like this, it would probably cost around $200 to $300 minimally to get this done. Again, 3D printer came in handy for something like this, and I'm happy how this came out. Oh look, even got a Matchbox sitting here with a Hot Wheel. Check that out. Printed up some junk gondolas also. Look how good that came out. Things flop right out. Come on. And there you go, junk gondola. That was really fun painting and getting them into these gondolas. These gondolas here, these are Bachmann gondolas. Believe it or not, both these cars cost me around 90 bucks. And let me tell you, they do not run great. They derail all the time. So learned lesson on purchasing expensive cars. I just go on eBay now. If something I see with a horn hook on eBay, it's no sweat off me to change the horn hook, put me a KD coupler on it. It's no sweat for me. At the end of the day, I'm trying to maximize what I get for my money. That's just the way it is in a hobby like this, especially on this scale. So let me tell you, real life kicks in really fast if you're spending too much on this. I have a high-end locomotive that's just chilling right here because I cannot run it on my layout. This thing derails constantly versus all my other trains. So look at that, 250 bucks just sitting on my layout. Why David, why? That's because I have a little spot on this mountain that it wants to derail somewhere right here. Just one little spot, one manufacturer derailing, cannot run a $250 locomotive. Whose fault is that? My fault, because I wanted that specific locomotive. I just wanted it. For what? For what? Just to have it? Let's not mention what this scene cost me right here. We're not even going to go into that. Again, if you can scratch build your stuff or 3D print your stuff, that would be the best thing for you to save money, guys. Oh, look. Speaking of 3D printing, this is some seawalls that I 3D printed to go on the side of this ramp. So saving a little money there, but is it enough versus what I done here? At least I'm still saving money. Oh, DC, been making this video and DC has not stopped yet. I mean, isn't that awesome? I can trust DC. So, what am I? DCC or DC? Or that DCCEX? Nope, not buying it. I'm DC, guys. I'm a DC railroader. At first, I was like, man, DCC is... Yeah, DCC is nice when you're running and operating and you can get down into it, but DCC is nice. But if you just want trains to run, we're 30-something degrees out here, and you throw a DC locomotive without cleaning your track and it works, I'm a believer. I'm a believer. So, with that said, guys, I'm going to head on out of here. I hope this video has helped somebody that's just starting out in the hobby and trying to watch their pennies, or they don't know exactly what they're getting into. At the end of the day, it's going to be watching your coins, watching how much you spend on what you spend. You got the rundown on what kind of track I use. I mean, what kind of switches I use, and I have no trouble. So there you have it, guys. Use your intuition and do what you think is right. At the end of the day, it's just a hobby, and don't spend all your money on this. So with that said, please like and subscribe, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.